I went ahead and asked 8 sales leaders how many times should you follow up with a cold prospect, and this is what they had to say.
Until they stop opening your emails.
If you're not doing 7 touches on somebody, don't do it at all.
70% of sales reps give up after the first email. What on earth are you thinking?
If the person it's totally cold and they've never responded to you, then you can keep reaching out to them forever, but you probably shouldn't do it all on the same day because that's a little overwhelming and stalkery. But typically you want to front end with more touch points and then space out your touch points at the end. And you should probably have 16 touches across multiple platforms. And then maybe you give it a month or 2 break and then you can go back into it. So like reach out to a person once a quarter, 16 touches across maybe a month.
If I've sent 3 emails to a prospect, 3 or 4 emails, and they haven't opened it, if I've called them like 4 times and it goes to voicemail every single time, they're not accepting my connection request on LinkedIn, I'm usually going to stop after like the 5th or 6th touch, as long as there's other people in the account to go to, whether that's lower, higher, above them, below them, or appear to them. In my opinion, it's a waste of time. I know there's data that says you need 18 touches, but what's 18 touches going to do if they're just not opening any of your emails? Because it's a best practice. But if they're opening my emails, hell yeah, I'll keep emailing them.
Because I didn't respond the first or second time doesn't mean I'm not interested. The chances are I was actually quite busy, which is actually the reality, I think, for a lot of prospects. Is the reason they don't respond, it's not because they're not interested, they're just busy. So people shouldn't get disheartened if they don't get responses, but they need to learn when to cut it off and think, if I'm trying to contact someone 10, 12, 15 times and they're not responding, it's getting to the point where you think, take the message, take the hint. Any more than that, and you probably think you need to actually relook at who you're going after.
Somewhere between 11 to 14 touch points through 3 different channels over a 2-week period. I think of it as like a high intensity workout, not like a marathon, right? So that's going to be social selling, it's going to be cold calling, and that's going to be cold emailing.
The law of diminishing return kicks in at around 7 touches. Anything less than 4 touches, you shouldn't have done it to begin with. It's just wasted effort. People are busy. It's okay. It's okay if the perfectly crafted, personalized email didn't get open. Bump it and then resend it again. See what happens. I can't tell you how many times we've seen the 10th email or the 9th email in a sequence getting still 6, 7, 8% response rate. And it's like, that's great. We're shooting half-court shots here and we're making them.
Over the course of, let's say 30 days, 31 days for your first touch sequence, probably look like somewhere between 16 to 18 touches, like phone, email, social as well. Something as simple as liking a post, because we really want people to start going, all right, here, I see Will's name here, here, here. So when you get him on the phone and you say, hey, it's Will from Vidyard, it's like, oh, wait a minute, why do I know that name? Wait a month or 2 and then do a second sequence. It doesn't have to be as high touch as that first touch sequence, so it still might run a month, but maybe it's only 6 to 7 touches versus 16 to 18. Company after company that I've been at, that is how BDRs hit their quota.
What is it, 19 touches they say it takes to convert someone? I think it's even 12 to 13 touches to convert an existing client to respond to you, which is crazy. As a standard, our sequences have at least 10 emails in there, and then we've got touches built in for social. We bring our social touch in 3 or 4 steps after the 3rd or 4th email typically, and we love to use a script that says my name might look familiar, I've reached out to you before, etc. It's all about adding value in some way. So we're going to continue that on beyond just emails, right? And we'll use phone calls as well, but when the triggers suggest that we should. Why build that into part of your process if there is an established interest from the buyer?
Yeah, so our most popular bit of content at Growth Genie is actually a 30-touch sales cadence, because it shocks people, what the hell, 30 touches, how can you have it? It is about a month, 7 to 8 emails, 7 to 8 LinkedIn messages, only if they connect with you on LinkedIn, 10 to 15 calls. We see highest conversions either at the end of that 30-touch cadence or at the start of that 30-touch cadence.